Hello and welcome to Barry Interesting. I'm your host, Barry Aycock. I'm joined today by Chris Rushin and Kat Hall. They're with the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland. Kat, welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Chris,
Thank you for having us.
it's a pleasure. Kat, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
I am from Williamsville, Missouri. It's a very, very small town. Actually, graduated in Greenville, and I've been with Boys and Girls Club since 2018. I started off as a YDP part-time working in the room with the kids, and I've moved up to now regional club director and got to actually help open the Malden unit, so very exciting.
Chris?
Well, lifelong resident in Poplar Bluff. Graduated from Poplar Bluff. I've been with Boys and Girls Club since 2009.
You have a lot bigger biography than that. You're the voice of the Semo Indians at one time.
I tell you what, I've been telling Barry about how that I've marveled at your studio and the work you're doing. People can't see behind the cameras, but you have interns here. You also have students from throughout Southeast Missouri that are getting exactly what we do. Try to get some exposure to something that normally isn't made available to kids from Southeast Missouri. I applaud you, Aycock, everybody that you have here for doing that. I wanted Jack Buck's job whenever I grew up. And guys like me are a dime a dozen, and you find that out very, very quickly. And whenever that didn't work out, God said, hey, I got another plan. And that's kind of how I ended up at Boys and Girls Club. So,
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up, so you've still got time.
I think that I'm on the same flight path as you.
Well, let's dig into what we're here for. Kat, this week is National Boys and Girls Club Week. How have you guys been celebrating? It's the last full week of June, right?
Yes,
so
it is.
Are y'all doing some special events?
We are doing all kinds of stuff. For example, yesterday we opened up tours for 2 hours at our site, and we had a lot of people come in, and they got to actually walk into the classrooms and see what the kids were doing, and kind of be a little bit more hands-on, find out a little bit about what we do. Today it's sports day, so all of the kids are at club representing all of their sports gear. And then tomorrow they will all be in Boys and Girls Club Blue, and we are going to be out doing stuff with them. I know we had ice cream today, and I believe Kona Ice and stuff will be there tomorrow. So.
And this is a national organization, so there's things going on all over the country. Is that right, Chris?
Absolutely. There's events throughout the United States. Now, one thing that people don't realize about Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland is that we're not owned by Boys and Girls Club of America. We're our own autonomous unit. It's a federated system, and we are governed by a local board. And but everything that we do is in concert with the National Association of Boys and Girls Clubs. And this is just a week where we kind of pause and say, hey, everybody look at us. Here's what we're doing with our kids, and we're very, very proud of it.
Chris, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to get into some of the historical perspective of the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland. It started out as the Boys and Girls Club of Poplar Bluff 25 years ago, but you've grown to 9 locations, serving multiple school districts, including right here in Malden. Walk us through the history of that. How did we get from 25 years ago to today?
It all started, they were using an old rent house by the junior high school in Poplar Bluff. And they served 15 to 20 junior high kids a day. And then it kind of moved from there to an old parochial school that was abandoned on the east side of Poplar Bluff. And then one day we found out that the roof was going to fall in on us. And Poplar Bluff R1 School just done some major renovations. They had some space. We're in the old art building, the old industrial tech building, if you will, at the old Poplar Bluff High School. It's now the middle school. But, you know, we continue to grow through the schools, and like Kat had mentioned a little bit earlier, we realized that we needed to make this program available for kids from other schools. And we wanted to go inside out. And the first place we went was into Neelyville as another school district. And then from there, we've had an incredible relationship with Senator Jason Bean. And in a conversation one day, he said, hey, how can we get the kids from Dunklin County involved in this? And we went to work. We started looking at the various places, locations. Was able to start talking to the Malden School District. We had multiple meetings with them. And in October of 2023, am I saying that right?
2023, yes.
October 2023, we started the program here in Malden. We didn't have any funding whatsoever for it. It was funds that we had raised through Boys and Girls Club of Poplar Bluff. But I went to our board and I told them, I said, listen, this is an area that meets every one of our objectives with our mission statement, to enable all young people, especially the ones that need us the most. Dunklin County, if you look at the statistics, kids in Dunklin County, the poverty rate in this county is almost double the state average. And we want to help the schools out. We don't want to replace anything that they do whatsoever. We want to partner with them. And we were able to work and use the building after school program. And then at the end of that school year, they said, hey, we're not going to be able to make that space available to you next year. And that's whenever we were able to partner with New Day First Baptist Church, where we have been for the last year. So we do have some plans coming up in the future that we'd like to see make this program available. And there's a reason, because Malden is so perfectly located. It is at the center of 7 different school districts that are all less than 12 miles apart. In Poplar Bluff, you can't get across town in 12 minutes. Exact same situation here. At the end of the day, we would love the kids from Bernie, from Risco, from Campbell, from Clarkton, from Holcomb, from Gideon, to be able to get on those buses and be able to come to us. We can take care of those kids right there, right here in Malden, and parents would then be able to work until 6:30 every night. And that would drastically change the amount of people that you could have available in the workforce. You know, one of the other things that whenever we were looking, we did our needs assessment 2 years ago. We noticed that people in Dunklin County work. Unemployment's very low here. But the problem is due to low educational attainment, they're low wage earning jobs. With the proper training and being able to make sure that their kids are taken care of, that could avail them to be able to work in some of the surrounding factories that we have here. That could drastically change how life is in the boot heel for decades to come.
That would be a game changer.
Absolutely.
So y'all have shared your plans for expansion right here in Malden. Malden's ground zero. Chris has kind of answered the question already, but I mean, you have a different vision than Chris on some things. That's the reason you are such a good team. So why Malden? Why now?
It's needed. It was needed. So when we came and had our very first meeting here with a group of teachers and with just some of the community partners and stuff, I actually went to Chris and said, hey, can I have this? I want this project, because I'm from a small town, and a lot of small town kids don't get all of the stuff that some of the bigger cities have. So our first year, our attendance hit 110 kids right off the bat. And we had usually an average last year of about 78 attending after school. And that was mostly Malden, but we did have a couple Risco kids and one Clarkton kid that came every day. Right now, this school year, we had our attendance went up to, I believe it was 138. And this summer, we already have an enrollment of 60 kids, and we're still taking more kids on every day. So it goes to show right there, it was needed. It is something that is needed here. And the programs and stuff that we're offering them, like, for example, we're starting an entrepreneur club for our teens. We just got them a 3D printer, a Cricut, a laser printer, all stuff like that. And our goal is to teach the kids how they can do stuff like that usually they don't have that opportunity to try and see if they like. We're going to be starting a coding club for the middle schoolers. That's something, we actually had a member come to me and say, hey, Miss Kat, I really, really want to learn how to do this off of a STEM kit. And I was like, well, let's roll with that. So our goal is basically just to get the kids in here, and we're not here to pull from other partners. We're not here to pull from anybody else. We just want to help with the kids that are here and show them there are other things out there. There are other hands-on stuff that you can do. So.
Well, I had the privilege of taking a tour of the facility here, the New Day Church facility. I got to see what a typical day looks like. It was very awesome what I saw going on there, a lot of creativity. But tell us, Chris, what's a typical day look like for a Boys and Girls Club member?
Well, the first thing that they're going to do is whenever they get out of school, we want to make sure that our kids, the basic needs are met. Are they hungry? Are they comfortable? Are they clean? Once you meet those basic needs, everything else falls in place. We want to feed our kids. Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland, throughout our 9 locations, we served over 50,000 meals last year. And it's not hot dogs and tater tots. These are well-rounded nutritional meals. After that, we'll take them in for something called Power Hour. It's an award-winning program. That's where we put 2 frontline staff, also known as YDPs or Youth Development Professionals, but we'll team them with a certified teacher. Those teachers come out of the school district. They know what their homework is. They know where they're at in their math studies, English. We want to specifically cater to the MAP test, what you and I used to know as achievement tests. But for 1 solid hour every day, we're going to work on their homework. I grew up in a household, my dad drove a record, my mom didn't graduate high school. I would bring home homework and they couldn't help me with it. Every kid that comes to Boys and Girls Club, from the day they start in kindergarten to the day they walk across the stage and receive their high school diploma, somebody's going to be there right there that will be able to answer every single question they could possibly get in school. I tell every parent, look them in the eye, there's no reason why your kid can't be the smartest kid in the class. After that hour is completed, we give kids choice. There are clubs and programs, and Kat's going to be a lot better explaining the clubs, but I love the No Cooking Club. A lot of parents are working. They can't be at home with their kids. We teach kids that there's some staple foods in just about every pantry and every home. Hey, how can we safely make this stuff and get us something nutritious to eat? It's not junk food. It's not a bunch of snacky cakes or cheesy poofs, okay? It's stuff that kids can eat and they're gonna enjoy, all right? And then we also try to throw in at least an hour of physical activity every day. Obesity is a big problem, and it comes down to the food that we eat. And teaching our kids that being active is part of a healthy lifestyle.
So when the kids get there, they're engaged from the minute they're there to the minute that
Every single thing we do is intentional.
Kat, not-for-profits rely heavily on partnerships. You've got some really invaluable partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland. Tell us about some of those MVPs.
So definitely one of our big ones is the First State Community Bank here in Malden. They partnered with us right off the bat, and they've been a huge, huge help. New Day, First General Baptist Church, which is actually where we're at now. We absolutely love it there. The kids have the gym use, and they have just been extremely welcoming. If I'm like, hey, we have more kids, we need another room, they've been accommodating, and it's been really nice. FCC is another one that we have come in. They come in and they might see 1 or 2 of our members. They stay there at the site. We give them their own room. They come in, speak with the member they need to speak with, and then head out. So, yep, it's very, very.
New Day Church has really been over backwards to help you guys. Stuart Allen Clark there, he's left it all on the table for you guys, his wife. So tell us a little bit about how they've helped the community.
They've just been an incredible partner that's made it happen. You know, the one thing that we've said for years, what we really need is seats and chairs, tables and chairs. That's all we need, and then we can go from there. A lot of our kids want to be able to go to a gym every day. We'll have kids that can't make the junior high basketball team, but they still think they're going to the NBA, okay? But that's the carrot that gets them into the door. That gives us an opportunity to work with those kids. And it's been so valuable to be able to be at the church. It's an incredible facility. They've been an incredible partner to work with, and we're very, very, very happy with that partnership. The only thing that we really have a need for is that they're like us. They're not for profit, but somebody's got to pay the light bill. And so we pay a fee to be able to rent it on a daily basis. At the end of the year, that comes to right around $25,000 a year. And so that's the fundraising part where we try to make up that difference. That facility has been absolutely incredible to us, though.
I had the opportunity to meet with you guys over at the office at Poplar Bluff, and beautiful office space. There's a lot going on there. How many employees do you have there at the main office?
We have 11 full-time people right now, and during a typical school year, we'll have 100 part-time employees, right at 100. During the summer, that is dialed back a little bit. As a typical school day at all of our 9 locations, we'll average right around 520 kids a day. During the summer, right now we're averaging about 220 kids a day. And so it'll be about 60 during the summer.
So Chris, Kat, I remember I had my son with me that day. I was telling you guys that he was going to Wash U. And I remember y'all had an all-star kid there. I think his name was Braylon. And I think he was going to Wash U too. And my son Joel thought he had seen him on campus. But I remember he's one of your big success stories there.
Yeah, he's an outstanding kid, Braylon Duckett. We're really proud of kids. It doesn't matter what their socioeconomic status is. I mean, it doesn't matter where you come from. If you want to work hard, you can get there. Braylon's a perfect example of that. And there's a ton of other kids. And a lot of those kids do come back, Barry, and they'll work with us, and they'll be one of our staff members until they finish up with school.
Yeah, I was so proud to hear that they did come back, because you can tell that the program meant a lot to them. Kat, do you have any follow-up on any of those all-stars that you've had there over the past?
Oh man, I have a lot of them. One of my favorite things to watch is when we have members that are graduate high school and are going to the local college there at Three Rivers, and then they sign on as staff. And to me, that's one of the neatest things, because we have one that I had as a 5th grader, and she just started working for us. So getting to watch it, and she knows what the kids loved when she was there, and so you can actually watch the relationships build fast, and it's just amazing watching that turnaround.
And that's a big deal for a 5th grader. They can see, they have an uncanny view of both sides of it. They were a member, now they're faculty or staff.
Yes, and they feel very grown up and like they own half the place when it first happens, because they grew up there, and then now here they are, one of them that gets to be one of the YDPs there. So
Boasting with pride.
yes, definitely. We have a lot of, so we also, one thing that we do have is we have a lot of staff that will come and work for us, and they think they're just going to work with us for the summer after they graduate high school. However, it is I don't want to say addicting, but working with these kids is just that. It is addicting, because these kids, when they leave to go to college, they always step into the office and say, hey, can you guys keep me on so when I come back for Christmas break, I can work? And so when I come back next summer, I want to stay here with you guys. And so we tried to accommodate, and we're like, yes, anything that we can do to keep them, because they've already built some relationships with these kids, and these kids know them. So if we can bring them back in, and this is now a staff of ours that's going to college that used to be a member, and the other members can just see that and see what they're capable of also doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of those success stories that are paying it forward.
Yes, exactly.
I remember he was one of them. I don't know which one y'all want to take this question, but you mentioned the needs assessment earlier. What really jumped out to you?
The needs assessment is one of the most important things that we were able to accomplish before we came down. We wanted, and the way that we started this out, we wanted to talk to anybody that had anything to do with kids. We went to Kennett, we went to the courthouse, talked to the juvenile judge. We had a big community meeting at the Malden Community Center and found out, hey, what are the problems? What are the things that you see that needs to be addressed? We talked to multiple school administrators throughout Southeast Missouri. We had over 200 student responses and surveys. We talked to better than 150 parents, anybody that had anything to do with kids. Missouri Kids Count is, that's another not-for-profit that takes a bunch of this information, takes all of this data, and they rank the counties. Dunklin County, I think, let me check this to make sure. New Madrid and Dunklin County, New Madrid's at 101, Dunklin County's at 108, out of the 114 counties in the state of Missouri. All right, and the lower down you are on that list, the worse it goes. Teen pregnancy in Dunklin and New Madrid counties, it's an incredibly disruptive event for students, families across the board. But the rate is at just under 50 births per 1,000 kids. The state average is 18. That's where we can come in and give kids positive things to do, to where that, you know, that's a very disruptive event. And, you know, you could talk about the food insecurities. You could talk about the cases of child abuse and neglect. One of the other things that really jumped off the page is that kids from these two counties enter or re-enter the Division of Family Services alternative custody at over double the rate of the state, 10.85 versus 5 per 1,000. That's the part that breaks your heart. And you try to be able to help parents. Sometimes parents, they're not bad people, they don't have the resources they need, and maybe they need help along the way. And I think that that's where we do a really good job of that, coming in and be able to help with that. Again, we don't want to replace anything that the schools are doing, like the FFA programs. They're huge in the Boot Heel. We want to help and try to supercharge that. If we collectively bring them together a couple of times in a semester, we could have a lot. I think that there is a lot of meat on that bone, okay? The other thing is that we need to have our kids either be career ready or college ready the day they graduate high school. We have an incredible partnership with Three Rivers College right now. We also have an incredible partnership with Missouri State. If you're a Boys and Girls Club kid and you go to club, they'll scholarship you. It's there, it's available. College isn't for everybody. You remember whenever you and I went through school, they all said, hey, you got to go to college or you're going to be a nobody. Couldn't be farther from the truth of what we were told back in those days. But the trades, there is such a demand for the trades right now. And we want to be able to help promote that, the training. Our new Workforce Development Teen Center in Poplar Bluff's going to go a long way in that. But I think we could do the exact same thing here at the Boot Heel unit.
Do the kids get this golden opportunity that they have there, like a scholarship to Missouri State? Do they grasp that?
Yeah,
Is it hard to get through to them?
4 or 5 kids over there right now?
Yeah, we have several that's already there.
And we're
So
hoping
they're
that we're going to be
starting-
able to have the same
Every year
partnership with
it's
SEMA.
building. Yeah, it's building up more and more every year. So
So they realize that opportunity there. That's big. Kat, I'm not giving you the last word, but how does someone get involved, like volunteer or donations, being a sponsor? How do you get involved with the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland?
there are lots of ways. We're very, very we love people. So come by the office. You can contact, you can call, you can email. We have a website, bgcpb.org. It has all of our information on it. Also, you can sign up on there to be a volunteer, to be a staff. If you don't know how to do it, you can't find the website, you just call our office and we have somebody there to answer and literally walk you through the process. I'm a believer you can't have too many volunteers, because if it's positive volunteers and these are good people you're bringing to put in front of these kids, the more positive people that we can put in front of them, the better. So anybody who wants to come and see club, all you got to do is call us, let us know, and we'll give you a tour of the place so you can check it out. We want the community to know that we're here. We want to be
Actually,
part of
Kat,
it.
you do not give the tour. You let the students give the tour,
We
which
do.
I thought was very cool.
That is right. Actually, the staff do not do the tours. We pick, and actually the day you were there, we let them know 5 minutes beforehand. They were not coaxed up. It wasn't hey, we want you to, talk about this, this, and this. No, we went into the teen room and said, hey guys, we need somebody to do a tour. Who's up for grabs? And we had 2 that was like, we'll do it. And that we just let them handle it. They know club just as well as we do, so.
They were really good. We interrupted every class that day.
Yeah.
We were glad to have you and Luke there that day.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very breathtaking, refreshing to see that going on. Chris, I want to give you the last word. What do you want Southeast Missouri, the public, to know about the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland? What do you want them to know?
The value of after-school programming and what it can mean to the future of our kids. Our teachers are working their tails off. Schools are doing what they can. This is the missing piece, though. This is the piece that completes the puzzle. We have to be able to make opportunities available to our kids to succeed. You do not have to go through life poor. You don't have to do that. There are ways to get there. And there are tons of people that want to help. They want to see people succeed. We do. It's just, it's the nature of things, but I think that if we take it upon ourselves and pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, that we can get this done. We do not have to be one of the poorest 10 districts in the United States of America. It doesn't have to be that way. We have some of the richest farming land in the world here. We have people that want to work. Let's put it together. We put our kids in the right place to take advantage of those opportunities. We can literally change the world from right here in the Boot Heel. I believe it.
I love your energy. Y'all live, eat, and breathe this organization, and I mean it shows. So I really appreciate y'all coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Chris.
having us.
Kat,
Yes, thank you.
Kat Hall and Chris Rushin with the Boys and Girls Club of the Heartland Boot Heel Unit. Thank you for coming today. We'll see you next time on Very Interesting.